Welcome, gentlemen, to Weekly Comic Fact number 13. Hope you are all having a beautiful day. As we dive right into this week's facts, I have 4 characters in store for you people. Let's hop on in. Congorilla is our first. His first appearance as Congo Bill was Action Comics number 1 in June of 1938. His first appearance as Congorilla was Action Comics number 248 in January of 1959. Status: unresolved. Real name Congo Bill, though I don't think that's his legal name, but that's up for debate. Occupation: big game hunter. Base: Africa. Height as Bill 6'1", as Congorilla 6'8". Weight 188 as Bill, 188 pounds that is, if somebody in Europe hears this. 707 pounds as Congorilla. Eyes blue, hair black. Special powers and abilities. Bill is an expert tracker, marksman, and explorer. Transformed into Congorilla, he is the strongest and most agile simian on Earth. Explorer and naturalist, Congo Bill became world famous as one of the last big game hunters. On one of his African expeditions, Congo Bill discovered a lost boy in the jungle who became known as Janu. Identified as the orphan son of the late Robert Murchison, Janu was eventually adopted by Congo Bill. He raised the boy as his own, and he learned much from each other while continuing their adventures. When Bill was presented with the ring of the Golden Gorilla by King Kowalo, king of an African tribe, Bill magically transformed into the Golden Ape. Dubbed Congorilla, he battled numerous evils in the African jungles. Years later, Congo Bill said goodbye to Janu as the young man left Africa for college in the U.S. Congo Bill then decided to permanently transfer his mind into Congorilla's body and live the rest of his life in the jungle. However, Bill's dreams of a peaceful retirement were soon shattered when he was attacked by his one-time ward, Janu, who usurped his Congorilla identity. Because we couldn't think of a better story than the oh-so-original student attacks the master and tries to take his power and prove he's worthy. Don't know. Janu left behind his own body and imprisoned Bill's mind within it. Traveling to Africa as Janu, Bill succeeded in regaining his own body, whose left eye had been blinded in the interim. In Bill's final confrontation with Janu Congorilla, the beast plunged from a building to its death. The original mind of the Golden Gorilla survived in the body of Janu. Now we have some recommended reading for Congorilla, but it's kind of out of date. He hasn't really been in comics lately, so we have More Fun Comics issue number 56, Action Comics issue number 224, also Action Comics number 248, then Justice League of America Volume 2 number 47, and Justice League of America Volume 2 number 60. But if you really want to read about somebody that turns into an ape, I'd suggest Teen Titans, because Beast Boy can turn into more than just an ape and is a more interesting character, in my opinion. Onward to our next character, the Contessa. First appearance, Superman the Man of Tomorrow number 1 in the summer of 1995. Status: villain, missing. Real name: Erica Alexandra Del Portenza. Occupation: international financier. Base: mobile. Height: 5'10". Weight: 135 pounds. Eyes brown, hair brown. Special powers and abilities: extremely long lifespan and magical powers. Full details still unrevealed, so they don't know where she gets that from. Former wife of Lex Luthor and mother of his daughter, the Contessa Del Portenza is an enigmatic figure. She appears to possess long life, if not immortality, and may have been born thousands of years ago. She is head of the criminal genetics group The Agenda and has earned favors from many powerful entities, including Clarion, the Witch Boy. During a period when Luthor abdicated directorship of LexCorp, which, if you know Lex Luthor, it could be a dictatorship, the Contessa purchased a controlling interest and ran the corporation. Luthor regained control of his empire by marrying her. Soon she gave birth to a daughter, Lena, and Luthor kept his wife drugged to keep her hidden. There might be some context needed there, because that sounds fucked up and really controlling, even for somebody like Luthor. That's a little extreme. She escaped and kidnapped Lena, which I can't really blame her when the father of the child drugged you so you couldn't see your kid. The baby was returned, but Luthor never forgot. Just before he became U.S. president, he arranged for a missile strike on the Contessa's stronghold. Holy fuck, he would not let this woman just live. I don't understand what she could have done, judging from this bio so far, that would make him go to such drastic lengths. But god damn, he needs to take a chill pill. However, a body was never found. As for recommended reading, all I can say is like that Superman Man of Tomorrow. Read that. But if you ask me, I think that she should be reintroduced to the DC universe, because there aren't a lot of powerful business women in the DCU, especially ones that Lex Luthor himself fears, which clearly he does when he was trying to blow her up constantly. Now we have a fan favorite, so to speak, although I'm not too big on him, John Constantine. His first appearance was Swamp Thing's second series, number 37, in June of 1983. His status is hero, real name John Constantine, occupation world saver, because everyone loves an egomaniac. Base, London. Height, 6 feet. Weight, 158 pounds. Eyes blue, hair blonde. Special powers and abilities. Extremely knowledgeable regarding the supernatural. Has access to mystical talismans and strong connections in the magical community. Cynical and disillusioned. Okay, now I'm listening. John Constantine is a streetwise magician known for his chain smoking. And now I'm not listening because that's disgusting. An omnipresent trench coat. After a traumatic childhood and a stint with a touring punk rock group. Oh shit, he's got a radical edge because he was in a fucking punk rock band. He performed his first magical intervention by summoning a demon to help a tormented girl. The experiment ended in disaster. Who could have seen that coming? Calling forth a demon to help you ended in disaster. Jesus. When the fiend dragged the girl to hell. Shell-shocked, Constantine spent time in a mental institution before embarking on a career as a paranormal investigator and exorcist. John has crossed paths with most supernatural beings, including the Phantom Stranger, who's kind of meh, and the Sandman, also meh, and not to be confused with the Spider-Man villain that's made of sand. Even tricking the Lords of Hell into warring over the fate of his immortal soul. He has also served as an advisor and friend to Swamp Thing, one of his longest-lasting partnerships. Now, as for this young man, I guess you could call him, he's got some quality reading to him, from what I hear. You should definitely check out the Hellblazer series in its entirety if you care. Obviously, you start with number 1, but if you don't want to have to read from number 1 all the way through, you can hop on at, say, I think it's issue 146, when Brian Azzarello took over on writing. And in my opinion, Azzarello is a great writer. He wrote the great Batman quote-unquote story called Joker, which is obviously about Joker. And then we will move on to Swamp Thing number 37, which is where John Constantine was first introduced by the legendary Alan Moore, who doesn't need my hype because I'm a pleb. You should know who he is if you know comics. And finally, Justice League Dark, D-A-R-K. I don't know why I mispronounced that. Which is a comic that delves into the supernatural and paranormal, featuring the likes of Deadman and Zatanna. Solid stuff for nerds who are into weird shit. And finally, last and least, Copperhead. First appearance, The Brave and the Bold, number 78, June 1968. Status, villain. Spoiler for everybody, he is deceased. Real name, unknown. Occupation, assassin. Base, mobile. Height, 6 feet 2. Weight, 190 pounds. Eyes, green. Hair, none. Which, I know those feels. Special powers and abilities. Able to contort his body to squeeze through narrow openings. Lame. Super strong. Also lame. Serpentine tail is prehensile. Can coil around objects or opponents. Secretes deadly venom, poisoning victims with just a touch. Woohoo! You have slimy snake skin. That's gross. The criminal known only as Copperhead first appeared in Gotham City. More Batman! For everybody that listened or didn't listen last week. Yay! Where he used his bulletproof, slippery snake costume. Where one would procure such a thing? Beats me, but moving on. To commit a series of thefts before being apprehended by the Batman and the first Batgirl, which is also Barbara Gordon, daughter of Commissioner Gordon. Later, Copperhead turned to more deadly pursuits as a super assassin, constricting victims to a suffocating death with a snake-like tail. Although a master contortionist, Copperhead was powerless without his artificial skin, which makes him a clown. If you need your suit to be strong, you're kind of a clown. Until he sold his soul to the demon Neron. More demons! There we go. in exchange for superpowers. Neron mutated Copperhead into a true Snakeman. So you could say he was a solid snake. No? Nobody? I'll go away now. Sorry. Deadlier than ever before. In the past, Copperhead belonged to the secret society supervillains. And while serving consecutive terms was offered the chance to commute his sentences by joining the Suicide Squad. The Squad also going to be in the movie coming up, but he's not going to be in it because he sucks. He was acquitted of murder. What? Hold on. He was acquitted, meaning he was on trial, although he's a known assassin. Last I checked, an assassin, kills people for money. If you get caught, there's a paper trail, so I don't know how he gets acquitted. Fuck it. He was later killed by Manhunter 5. Good, because he sucked. So yeah, no recommendations for him because he's lame, and you shouldn't want to read about him because he's kind of stupid. Sorry if you love Copperhead, but no. No. Now onto the new releases. Now for anyone new that doesn't know where I get these, this is from the Game Informer site, so some games might not be on the list. I'm sorry in advance. First off, we have Breach and Clear Deadline on PC July 21st, which is an isometric tactical shooter. In my opinion, looks kind of boring, but then again, I'm not in these kind of games in general, but just watching gameplay, it doesn't grab me as something I'd want, because it's kind of on the boring side, and there's more engaging games you could play if you're into tactical shooters, so I'd avoid it. And then we have F1 2015 on the Xbox, PS4, PC on July 21st. That is an F1 racing game. So you're either going to pick that up or not. Doesn't matter what I say. Moving on. Then we have Hatoful Boyfriend on the PS4 Vita. Also on the 21st. And this is an anime dating sim where you attend a school for birds. Not joking. So thank you, Japan. But you can change them to not look like birds, but you're playing a game where birds are dating. Why would you not just do that? But anyway, this came out on PC a while back, so if you find yourself really fiending for the hot bird-on-bird action and you couldn't play before, check it out for some laughs. Then we have Journey coming to the PS4 on the 21st. Yet another re-release in the year of re-releases, because that's the theme this year. If you even put up a game that got somewhat decent ratings, people are just releasing it for whatever reason this year. So there's that. But this one I can actually understand because it's an actual beautiful, amazing game. If you haven't yet played it, it has to be played to be described, because I am not the wordsmith capable of giving the credit it deserves. So just go pick it up and move on with your life. Then we have Oni Chambara Z2 Chaos for the PS4 on the 21st. I'm not giving a glorified porno game the time, and I'm moving on. Then we have Squares for the Vita on the 21st. Not really much I can say on this one, as it appears to be a minimalist style puzzle game where you turn blue squares into gray ones, with the caveat that it's also timed, where you need to be as precise as possible, as fast as possible. Hey, if you like puzzle games, and you're lucky enough to have a goddamn Vita, give it a shot. Tembo the Badass Elephant for the Xbox, PS4, and PC on the 21st. Stupid name aside, this is a 2D side-scroller in the vein of Sonic, where you play the aforementioned elephant. From what I've seen, it looks pretty meh. Sure, it'll bring back the dreams of nostalgia, but I don't see why you wouldn't just play the old games you love and know how to play, as opposed to this one that you don't know how to play and could be crap. Also, since I'm late on making the video, I've seen the price tag on this thing, and they want 40 whole fucking dollars. Yeah, 40 for a side-scroller in 2015. I'm sorry, there's no way you're getting me to pay that for a side-scroller, no matter how many levels you have. That's just my opinion. Then we have Yasai Ninja for the Xbox, PS4, and PC on the 21st. This appears to be a God of War style hack and slash game where you play as Broccoli and an onion. And the Broccoli's name is Broccoli Joe. which, shit, I'm sold, right? Yeah, not even close. It looks like a PS2 and original Xbox game, and probably plays like one. A crappy one at that. Then we have The Binding of Isaac Rebirth for the Xbone, Wii U, and new 3DS on the 23rd. This one, I'm gonna go ahead and be a glory whore and advertise myself, because I've already made a video with some gameplay of this. If we go way, way, way back to Weekly Random Comic Facts number 2, you'll see it there, but you'll have to forgive the horrible video quality because that was recorded with a phone, which that's how bad I was back in the day. I say back in the day like it was years ago. Then we have Blues and Bullets for PC, also on the 23rd. This is a third-person detective style game, like in the style of Indigo Prophecy, but with analysis more akin to LA Noire. It's got that quote-unquote gritty Sin City color scheme going, where it's got black and white except for things that are red and fire. It's also an indie game, and it definitely shows, but because it's really got some jank graphics going at certain points in what I've seen. It doesn't look that great, but pick it up if you like mystery games, and if it's not more than $20. Then we have Dragon Fantasy, The Volumes of Westeria for the Wii U and 3DS, also on the 23rd. That is an 8-bit RPG game similar in appearance to, say, Final Fantasy VI, which this game was also originally released on the PS3, Vita, and iOS. So if it's priced right and you really need some 8-bit RPG action, this is right up your wheelhouse. Then we have some DLC for the Talos Principle, which is The Road to Guyana. Also, it's on the PC, and it's the 23rd. So this is DLC for the gorgeous puzzle game, The Talos Principle, where I believe you play a robot android who finds consciousness and is then led around by a disembodied voice, which is a puzzle game trope at this point, because so many games have done it a la Portal. And then I'd recommend it, though, because it's just gorgeous to look at. If you have a PC that can run it, pick it up. And lastly, we have Victor Vran on the PC, Mac, and Linux on the 24th. This game is an isometric action RPG, similar to Diablo, where you appear to play as the titular vampire hunter, but I'm not positive from the screens I've seen. But what I do know for a fact is that it's an early access game, which I am not keen on, unless somebody who's more reputable in the industry tells me that it's got a good chance to be finished and that it's actually a decent game and they're not ripping you off. But check it out, but be warned, it's early access and it might never get finished, which is always something you got to look at with early access. And finally, we're going to finish off this show with a bit of channel news. In the coming months, I plan to expand the channel with the help of two of my pals, who shall remain nameless until they are revealed, but they know who they are. And then we'll begin doing streams and the like, as I believe the channel itself will benefit from having a group dynamic as opposed to my singular voice, which, hey, it's not really that great. Yes, self-deprecation, yeah, whatever, but moving on. Also, shirts. That is going to be a thing. I am currently working on the new design for the logo for the channel that will go on the shirts. So if that sounds something peachy that you want, leave a comment below. I'll try to get back to you, tell you when I'll be getting those to you. And with that, don't forget to like, favorite, subscribe, follow me on the Twitter. Hey, maybe show this to your friends. I'd really appreciate that, because it would help the channel out. But I won't request it. Thank you for watching. Stay lovely.